We have with us Rajiv Seth, former cricketer, and Rishi Chhabra, Team India fan from London. He was sitting there watching the match in Oval. I don't know how disappointed Rishi is, but let me start by asking about this big talking point that is Rohit Sharma, and I want to get this stat out for everyone. Rohit Sharma in ICC knockouts since 2017, in the last 6 innings, he hasn't scored a single 50. Rajiv Seth, what is it? Is it a confidence issue for Rohit Sharma in these tournaments?
Sama, frankly speaking, at his level, the kind of bat he is, one of the best in the world, confidence should not be an issue. It's just that he's not amongst runs. I mean, he's such a prolific run getter and most importantly, a striker of the ball. It's just that he's not getting into the groove, which time and again, he is sometimes having a good start and not able to capitalize that. It's just one of those things that he is not able to get the form back, which I think we have seen it in Virat at some stage. And some great players, they go through that phase. And I think Rohit is also going through that phase, to be very fair to him. But having said that, there are no charity lunches because people are going to ask for performance in every encounter that you deal with. So, I mean, it's a tough call, but yes, it's Rohit who only has to mend the ways.
Well, it is always good to see Rishi Chhabra smiling. I don't know where that smile is today. There it is. There it is, back on Rishi Chabra's face. Rishi, do you feel Rohit Sharma's poor form in the IPL would have been there in the back of his head coming into this match?
Well, Osama, not just the IPL, but when it comes to crunch games for India, I think Rohit Sharma hasn't performed for us for a very long time. And, talking about today's game, today's day specifically, you can look at this way, that Australia they lost 7 wickets for 142, and we lost 5 wickets for 151. So we've actually done well as compared to Australia. However, there's a mountain to climb still, well over 300 runs to get. And with the top order gone, the way the top order collapsed today, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for us to chase those runs. And, going forward, I think we should have the target of 270 to get to 270, because then that means, we won't follow on. So that is the first target that the players should play now for.
Rajiv Seth, I also want to get your thoughts on Shubman Gill and Pujara's dismissal. And I want to get this tweet out that CricViz analyst has tweeted. It says that the balls to dismiss Gill and Pujara had a 33% chance and a 28% chance of taking a wicket. Almost identical deliveries. How did the two most technically sound batters in the team get it wrong?
See, Sama, the simple fact is when you're playing in England, irrespective of overcast conditions or even the bright sunny morning that you face, you are bound to face seam bowling and you are bound to experience deviation. I just don't know. We talk about the opening batsman or the top order, that knowing the off stump as to where the off stump is and they play accordingly. Now here you are leaving a delivery unguarded, and that too knowing that the ball can seam back in, and which is exactly what has happened in 2-3 occasions. Now this is where you don't guard yourself. Then what do? You leave the doors open for the robbers to come in. So end of the day, it's how you manage that that spell in the great temperament that you can show is very important. I mean, somebody like Pujara, who's known to be the wall of Indian team. And he making those kind of mistakes, also I feel that it doesn't augur well.
Well, we can hope for a 4th innings masterclass from Pujara then. I also wanted to talk about Scott Boland, and there was a comment on Cricinfo that I really have to mention here. It says that Boland is like a nightmare AI-generated bowler concocted in a lab with this prompt: if McGrath bowled with a Peter Siddle action. Rishi, what are your thoughts on his performance today?
Absolutely brilliant. The way he got Shubman Gill out, that opening spell, I think he looked every single delivery, he looked that he's going to take a wicket. And that's what he did, the early breakthrough that he got for Australia. I think he was brilliant. And going into the Ashes as well, I think he's going to be one of the lead pacers for Australia to look forward to.
Do you also feel there was a lack of intent from the top order, Rishi?
Absolutely. I think, like Sir said, in English conditions, you can never leave a ball that's going to come into your off stump. You have to play that ball. And, we can always say to this as well, that because Indian team didn't have proper match practice before the WTC final, this is one of the reasons that the players couldn't adapt. But talking about Cheteshwar Pujara, he's been playing county for so long.
Yep.
I think he should have played better cricket and he should have at least, scored some runs for us today.
Rajiv Seth, I also want to talk about Ajinkya Rahane. He has possibly looked the most assured batter for India in this match. And imagine he came in on the back of his IPL form, also because of injuries to the likes of Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant. And if he manages to get India out of trouble in this match, do you feel that that would be the biggest headline?
Well, first of all, he's been very lucky. He should be sitting back in the hut had it not been that no ball. But that's what cricket is all about. I mean, when you see the celebrations are on, and that's where somebody reminds you, hang on, you've just crossed the limits. So, I mean, saying what Ajinkya Rahane has already played as an innings, I have a feeling that he will be having a very determined role tomorrow morning, because he needs to hold on to one end if we need to mend ways. I don't see this going too far, but I would rather say at least to save a follow-on. But let me also tell you that Australia is in no mood to give follow-on, because they have a huge series coming ahead.
Yeah.
In the 5 Test match series. They're not going to tire their bowlers just for the heck of it when they know their game is in their pack. So it's not going to be easy. But having said that, I think it's how we adapt to situations tomorrow morning and play session by session. That's important. If we don't have too many wickets left, this is the last recognized player, and maybe Shardul coming in and showing his prowess. But having said that, rest is without undermining anybody's ability, but it's just a matter of 30, 40, 50 runs. So it is a very important morning, and Ajinkya has to play a very, very vital role, and which he is. I mean, end of the day, if you see his technique, the way he's played, he's actually played, adapting to the situation. And this is where we saw a great glimpse of him in Australia when he played back in Australia and did so well. So I think Ajinkya is the right person, but somebody has to support him on the other end.
We have often seen Rishabh Pant come in tricky situations and counter-attack. We are definitely missing him in this match. Rajiv Seth, do you feel Jadeja did that job for India today?
Well, again, Jaddu is such a great player, a utility player, and he does come across with some trick or the other. But then, again, I would not take the role of Rishabh Pant in this situation, because Rishabh behind the wicket is improved as a great wicketkeeper now. I mean, a much better wicketkeeper, and then he has been a batsman who plays his shots. So he is as a person who could take you out of this kind of situation, because here the moment you go back to your den, you just kind of hold yourself back. The pressure is mounting on you. So this is a right balance that you have to strike, that where you get a loose ball, go for it and get some runs too also. And if the scoreboard keeps ticking, it only adds to your positivity and your motivation factor. So that's something which I would say Ajinkya would also look from somebody like Shardul, so that, the tension and the pressure gets relieved.
Right, absolutely. Rishi, let's also give credit where it's due. The Indian bowlers, they restricted Australia. It was a massive effort by them, especially Mohammad Siraj with his 4 wickets haul. He was brilliant today. He has been the most improved bowler for India in the past 3 years, hasn't he?
Absolutely. If you look at the series back in Australia, where he was just a net bowler and then he came into the squad. From there on, he's been a brilliant red ball cricketer for us. And the way he bowled today, the way, like I said in the earlier show as well, the way India restricted the Australian team today for about 145 all out, brilliant and a great job, the way they performed yesterday as compared to that. I think they were brilliant in the outfield today.
Right, absolutely. And one final word from Rajiv Seth. How important do you feel this match can be for KS Bharat? His performance can literally decide his future in this team.
Indeed, and that has been the case in the last couple of series that he's played also, because he is a very important cog of the wheel, and he needs to deliver, because end of the day, even Ridhiman Saha, if you see his form in the recent IPL, you would wonder where is Ridhiman Saha, but again, selectors have moved on in some sense. But having said that, he is definitely on the scanner. but he needs to prove himself well also. But one thing I would like to say, the decider of this match so far has been that 285 partnership, and you've allowed them to prosper
Absolutely.
like anything. That's something which is killing. I mean, if you see the other part of the match, it's more or less balanced between the two. But
Right.
it is massive partnership that you allowed with varied line and length is not pardonable. It's something which
Absolutely.
I think can be much better.
Absolutely. It is advantage Australia at the end of day 2. India will have to come out and bat their hearts out tomorrow in the morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. News continues on the other side.